All right, welcome back everyone. We are ready for our next square. We are of course using our H hook, which is a 5.0 millimeter, and our number 4 weight yarn. This one just happens to be the Mainstays basic yarn, 4 weight. And this one is going to be called a flower square. So we're going to start with a flower in the center and work our way out. So let's get started. Begin with our slip knot. We're going to chain 4, slip knot in our first chain, slip into, not a knot, but slip into this with a slip stitch. Now to begin, we're going to slip stitch back into the center. And now we're going to do 3 double crochets in that ring. And we're going to do this 4 times. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Slip stitch into the center, 3 more double crochets, slip stitch into the center, kind of squish those over, pull them over, 3 double crochets, 1, 2, and 3. Slip stitch into the center. This is our last one. Pulling that over so we can see. One, 2, and 3 double crochets. Now we're going to slip stitch to the first slip stitch, which is right back here. This is your stitches on the front. Your slip stitch is back here. So we're going to go back here and grab that first one right there. Slip stitch to it. And this was what it should look like. Now I'm going to take a little stitch marker, put it to mark our front of our work like that. That was round 1. Now for round 2, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip the first double crochet. Okay, so we did a slip and 2. No, we slipped in there and did 3. Skip the first one, And now you're going to go around the back of the second one. And you want your yarn at the back. If your yarn is forward, it's going to get hung up right here. So your yarn is at the back. And you go behind and get that post and slip stitch around it. I think I got caught on something else. You do that again. There's my post right there. Skip this first double crochet, go behind, yarn is behind, and from behind we grab that and slip stitch. Okay, now you're going to chain 3, skip 2. So here's one here. We're going to skip this one here. We're going to go to this other one, which is really looking more like, if you're looking at this, you got your 3 of your little petal here. It's right in the center. That's the one we're doing. So we're chaining 3. We're going over there, and we're going to do around it. Slip stitch around that second double crochet. Then we're going to chain 3. And do this again. Skip that one, skip that one. So skip 2 double crochets, and then you're going to slip stitch around the back, from the back of the post, around the post from the back, and then chain 3 again. Now right now we have 2. See, we have 2 chain 3s on the back side. We're going to do 2 more. So we have our chain 3, skip the next double crochet and the next double crochet, and from the back around the post of that next double crochet, you slip stitch, and now do your chain 3. One more time. Skip 2 double crochets. There's 1, 2 right there. So I have to kind of pull this out. So skip that one, skip that one. We're going to go around this one here. Around the post from the back and slip stitch. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chains. See that on the back side? You're going to slip stitch to this first slip stitch. So here's our chain. So there's our slip stitch. Getting a hold of it, something else. Slip stitch to it right there to join. Make sure you guys saw that. I'm going to pull that out and do that again. I'm not sure if you guys saw. We're slip stitching to that first slip stitch. Okay. All right, now for round 3, we're going to slip stitch, do 5 double crochets, and slip stitch into the chain 3 spaces that we made. So you're going to just come straight over and slip stitch into that space, right into that chain 3 space, and then begin double crochets. And we'll do 5. That's our 5 double crochets in that chain 3 space. And we're going to do that again in this next one. We're going to go straight over and slip stitch into it, into that chain 3 space, slip stitch in, and then begin your double crochets, 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we've got 2 petals. Now we're going to slip stitch into our chain 3 space and 5 double crochets. One more time. Slip stitch into that chain 3 space and 5 double crochets. Now you've got your 4 petals, and you're going to join with a slip stitch. There's our petal, so we're going to join with a slip stitch right there. Okay, now we're going to do round 4, a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're going to slip stitch from the back in between the 2 petals. So that's our 5. We're going to come, here's this petal, and here's this petal. We're going to come from the back, and here's this space right here where we did our slip stitch. And a slip stitch around that. And now chain 5 again. So this petal and this petal, we're going to come over and we're going to slip around that from the back. Chain 5. So see, we have 1, 2 right here on the back side so far. Come back over here between these petals. Slip stitch. Chain 5 again. Now you've got 1, 2, 3. We did our last chain, and now we're going to slip it to this first right here. So we have our 4 chains on the back now. Okay, now we're going to do round number 5. Chain 3, And that chain 3 is going to count as your double crochet now and throughout, okay? That's your first double crochet. Now we're going to double crochet, double crochet, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets in this chain, inside this chain right here. Okay, so here's our first chain 3. We're going to come over to this chain. We're going to do 2 double crochets. Get some more yarn. Chain 2 and 3 more double crochets along that chain on the back there. Now you're going to chain 1, and we're going to come over here to this next chain 5, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, all in that same chain 5. Chain 1, so you've got 2 shells made. We're going to go to the next chain 5, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1. You're going to make 1 more shell in this next chain 5 space right here, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, okay, so here's your first chain 3. So that's going to be your edge over here for that first shell. So you want to join with the slip stitch to the top of that double crochet. Oh, there we go. My petals were kind of screwy there. It's going to form even better when we get farther along. Okay, for round 6, we're going to slip stitch into the next 2 double crochets and into the chain 2 space. So slip stitch into the top of that double crochet, in the top of that double crochet, and slip stitch into the space. Now you are basically in the corner where we're going to do 2 double chain 3 and then do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets to make a shell. So chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. All right. Chain 1, work 3 double crochets in this chain 1 space right here. Chain 1, and now you're going to work your cluster shell in here, in this next corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Chain 1, then you'll do 3 double crochets in that next space, chain 1, and do your 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles, and you know what to do now. You do that all the way till you get over here, and we'll join at the top over here, and I'll see you back over there. Now for rows 7 through 9, you are going to slip stitch into the next 2 double crochets, one and 2, and into the corner, into that chain space, do 3, chain 3, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then you're going to work your 3 double crochets in each of the chain spaces until you get to the other corner and make your shell in that corner. So your chain 1, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets in those spaces until you get to the over here to the corner. Then you will chain 1 and you will do your 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and you'll repeat that on all the sides until you get back over here, where you will chain 1 and then slip stitch to this starting chain. Then that will be for row 8. Then row 9 you'll do the same thing again. So 7, 8, and 9 are all 3 going to be the same. Okay, and then we will come back and do our edging. So I'll meet you back. Okay, welcome back. Now, I was just checking, and we are really right spot on for our 7 inches that we want for our square before we put our edging on. Now you have joined here at the top of this beginning chain. You're going to single crochet in that same stitch, and then single crochet in the top of the next 2 double crochets. So there's into the top of that one and into the top of that one. Now you're going to go right into this corner chain 2 space and do 5 single crochets there. Now we're going to do a single crochet in the top of each of the double crochets and the chain 1 space. And then the top of these double crochets, and the chain 1 space. We're going to do that all the way across to here. When we get to this chain 2 space in this corner, we'll do 5 single crochets there, and we'll work this same way all the way around, going through the top of the double crochets and the chain 1 space with single crochets and 5 single crochets in the chain 2 space in the corner. And you should have, you'll have to count and make sure, but you need to be sure you have 112 stitches, 112 single crochets when you come back around. All right, I'll meet you back when you get this first row of the edging done. So I was just looking at this, and I've joined here to the first single crochet, and I was just measuring, and you guys, we're at 8 inches. I don't see any reason to put another edging on it because it'll be too wide. It'll be wider than the rest of our squares. So I'm going to cut that and call it done. I'll get my ends woven in, and here I'm going to mark this one on the front here. Okay, that is that. Now we have our number 21. I'll take this stitch marker out so I can use it again, and I will weave in my ends. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is a pretty little square. I could see doing a total scrap project with it where we did, you know, each layer could be a different color. Definitely could do the flower in a different color, even do like the center with one and then put these leaves on it in a different color. And there's a lot of different things you could do with this, especially if you were making an entire project with this square. So this is called Flower Square, and we're done. Thank you for joining me. I will see you for the next one, and have fun today. Thank you, everybody.